we're big enough to take on pretty much 90% of the programs that would exist in the market, but we're small enough to be able to customize the solution to really meet our clients where our clients live. And I think that's a bit unique. You can't talk about it as cliche as it is to say what makes you different. And the answer is people. And I would say 98% of the MSPs would answer that question the same way. But I think we're very much unique in the fact that we have a high level of experience at Eastridge. I've been with the organization 3 years, and I'm one of the more junior people on the team. Over the last 18 months, we've had zero turnover in MSP operations. So I think that is something, in fact, I know for a fact that's extremely unique in the industry, having done this for 25 years, the fact that we have the same teams in leadership and managing programs, and that makes a lot of difference. When we implement a program, we do not have a separate implementation team. We are involved in ongoing operations, although Nancy and Nancy's team really oversees our implementation activities. And from a project management standpoint, when you look at Sam's role, my role, the other directors, we are running the program. So not only are we involved in the implementation, we're involved in ongoing operations. So we're pretty good about what we're committing to because we are the same people that are going to be responsible for delivering it through the implementation process. Many MSPs will bring on the actual program team, program managers, and supporting personnel, program coordinators, and those sorts of roles. Typically 2 to 3 weeks out from go live, we tend to engage those teams very early on in the process. So they not only understand what we're doing from an operational process standpoint, but they understand why we operate. Sometimes when you look at a program, you may look at a process and say, that's a bit unusual. But when you really understand why that process is there and what decisions were made to lead to that process creation, it makes it much easier to really operate the program when you understand what the genesis is of those processes and the operations. And really, having the same team that's consistent through, and all of us are quite honestly involved in the sales process up front. And so people are like, when does implementation start? Implementation starts during the first sales presentation or sales interaction, because then we're starting to understand what the client's looking for, what their culture is. And so the fact that we engage operational people through that sales process really lends itself to understanding that client. And yes, if we don't win business that we're bidding or pursuing from a sales standpoint, then implementation technically ends. But the sales process is part of implementation because we're understanding the stakeholder, that client, what they're doing, what their goals or objectives are. It all fits together, and that consistency of staff means that when we go live on day one, we know exactly what we've built, why we built it, where we're going, what the first 6 months looks like, what the first year looks like. And there's going to be some changes in there, certainly. But we take an extremely thoughtful approach to the overall relationship. It's not just implementation, to the relationship as a whole, and what the strategic component of that, of our solution is, and how that strategic component fits into that client's overall talent strategy.